Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, March the 18th, 7:44 p.m. Thank you so much. My almost sincere apologies for being a little late. It's just that I had some technical difficulties I had to solve. So we finally got them all ready to go. Definitely tough times, and tough times for Orlando, for the club. A lot of upset fans all over, and it kind of seems that we're, looking back at last year, right? So I think we need to, redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. And I think that's the title of the show today, and I figured that was the most apparent words to use. Uh, we need to come back and be that team that everybody expected us to be. So I think we need to see what's next. A lot of things have been gelling, a lot of things have been um, meshing well, adapting well, but but we're they've scored 10 goals on us. We have probably the worst defense in the MLS right now, and that is just being completely objective, not to be negative or anything like that, but we have probably an open door for a back line. Those are a couple things that we need to talk about today. We're going to discuss what happened with Atlanta, and how are people feeling, right? So I have John with me. I have Paola, like always. John, how are you, my friend?
Good, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's something about like the situation and the irony from last year, and just like it seems almost like you said, like we've been here before. And
Yeah.
I, I'm, I expected this game to be a struggle. Like I tweeted, I was like, I just hope we don't concede too many and don't get injuries. But what we saw was like a continuation from the game before, like a lot of silly mistakes, not taking our chances, not creating enough chances. I didn't expect them to fix it all in one game, and I didn't expect this to be an easy game for us. So I expected pretty much what I saw. In fact, I think we were maybe a little bit better than I expected at times. So that's like bar is low. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of like a just irony and just sort of like okay, well, we're back here again. But knowing that where we ended up last time gives me a little bit more sort of assurance that things are going to turn around.
Paola, how are you? How you feeling after this tough loss
I
against Atlanta rivalry game?
had a face that Alec was like, "Why are you stressed?" I'm like, because we had so many chances and we wasted all. It wasn't that we didn't had any, and we struggled, but I'm okay because I'm with you guys, and I know that we're gonna talk this through and get into the game analysis and why not. But other than that, I'm doing great. So happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you're here as well, and thanks to everybody that for all the support, and not only on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We're having a lot of more content coming up for y'all. We have also the Pride Pod tomorrow, I believe, or Wednesday. And then
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, with the Pride Pod, we'll discuss the game that against the Racing Louisville, and a lot of good stuff that's coming up. But we'll talk about the lineup right now. Leave us your comment. The lineup, to me, it was I was surprised that Oscar was going for a 4-4-2. Um, I didn't think he was going to go and completely switch the formation, but in a way, it was good to see. I did ask Duncan McGuire on post press conference. He was asked, how was it to mesh with Muriel, and he said that they've had a lot of gelling time together, them two, and Muriel likes to play back. That's pretty much what he said. And so they kept changing positions. So again, I know everyone's entitled to their opinion, but we're also, and we have to understand, we're not there. We're not at the pitch. We're not at the practices. And just to say that Muriel was just playing the 10, it's because Oscar put him there. It's not right. It was a 4-4-2 system in which Muriel decided, as a player that has autonomy and a brain, he decided to play a little back because he said, hey, heck, I'm playing in North America. I come from Atalanta Serie A. I'm a little bit silkier with the ball than these guys. A little more skillful to maybe generate a play, which is what I actually said when I first got into the team in the beginning. So I'm gonna do that. So I want to believe that was it. What are your thoughts regarding the 4-4-2, John?
I didn't mind going to the 4-4-2. I think because we don't have the D mids like we talked about, then it would look like a decent option to use it. And we've seen like Duncan and Muriel playing there together, and there's a lot of people who talk about the potential of them up front developing a partnership.
Yeah.
We tried to see that. Did it work? Did it not work? It was okay at times. There was some creation, and other times it didn't really work. But again, it's time. Like maybe that's something that will develop. But I think, is Oscar going to stick with this? Right? I think is the question. If we're going to stick with the 4-4-2, then I'm all for it. But if it was just for one game because we're missing D mids, we might go back to the 4-2-3-1, especially considering that this ultimately we lost. The confusing thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people commented on, is why Dagger Dan is playing right back and Kyle Smith is playing D mid in this formation of 4-4-2. And I think the answer to that is because Oscar wants to keep his back four as consistent as possible, and therefore he's leaving Dagger there. And we saw Kyle there in preseason. I don't think Kyle had a horrible game. I don't think he was great, but he doesn't really 100% know how to play that position. So, but also he's not helped by the fact that he's on his own in, playing defensively essential in the middle of the park with Nico Ladero next to him, not really doing much defensively. There's a lot of things about this 4-4-2 that I don't think really worked for us.
What are your thoughts regarding that, Paola? What are your thoughts regarding the 4-4-2 and what John was saying regarding, Dagger playing obviously as a right back as always, and then Kyle playing the D mid position?
I mean, I didn't mind Kyle Smith playing the D mid at all. What I could observe was that they were lost because they're not used to play 4-4-2 all the time. What is the original Poppy special 4-3-2-1, right? So they were like all over the place. Luis Muriel was going deep, like you said, Luis, and then Martin Ojeda. I don't like Martin Ojeda as a winger, to be honest. Like he was lost yesterday at some point. But like John said, we're gonna see consistency on that 4-back line because we need to stop conceding goals. Right now, we're not looking good in the left back. Not like Dagger Dan. We're not looking good at the left back, and I think we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. And I don't want to get into it yet, but in my opinion, it was kind of funky. A lot of people asked for the two strikers in the at top. There you go. You're welcome. But I think this is not the solution going forward.
So, so to give, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We'll discuss the Rafa Santos and also Martino Ojeda in just a moment. But I agree with John completely. I mean, how long was Dagger Dan playing right back? Almost the whole season, almost the whole 2023. I mean, and I understand people's frustrations, but when you speak, you have to read between the lines. You have Dagger Dan, even though he has played the D mid position, he hasn't played the D mid position since last year. So he wants to go for what works for him and for his system. And Dagger is just that player. He's not a real right back per se, but he's a player that has delivered last year, right? And this year, I think he's been everywhere. He's been the most polyfunctional player in the whole entire squad. Now with Kyle Smith, he's a worker. He's a worker, and I agree with what John said. Probably not, probably not the best coverage possible, but Atlanta knew where the weak points of Orlando were, and Atlanta also plays the sport. They're also present on the pitch, and you have Caleb Wiley and Brooke Lennon that had a phenomenal game, and they overpowered on our flanks. That to me is key. And that's why Martin Ojeda didn't do anything. And that's why Rafa Santos was more concerned to attack. And then he forgot that Brooks Lennon was faster than him and can cut through the middle. And then Nicola Dero also, I believe, just like John said, I think he had a not so great game. And it was just an open wide door for Brooks Lennon to take over on that side. Now, talking about Rafael Santos, I miss Kyle Smith there, be honest with you. I don't know. What are your thoughts there, John? I miss Kyle Smith there.
I think it's exactly like we said before. Is that the Austria wants that consistent back four. So I think it was only Santos in there because he had to put Kyle in D mid. I think on like the Austin game, definitely I would put Smith back in there. I think Santos. We remember the beginning of last year. Ironically, Santos's form is just like Orlando City's form is not starting the season well again. But he's just, I understand that he wants to go forward, but Dagger does it much better in the sense that he knows when to go forward and when to stay back, and Santos does not do that. And so when they're both going forward, yeah, Dagger gets caught out, but Santos gets caught out way more often. And I think that there's a liability to have both of them on the field in that fullback position. And I think if we're going to, like Paula says, we need to shore up this back line. We need to have some consistency. We need to stop leaking goals. And Santos is a big part of that. So put Kyle Smith there, and I think things will dramatically improve in that left back position.
And I do want to add on what you said, maybe Profe Oscar, which I guess I am nobody to tell him what to do. He's the coach, I'm not, right? But maybe Profe Oscar could tell him, hey, Rafa, tread back, stay in position, play like Kyle, but be a little faster on the recovery, and just don't.
He did have a few moments where he recovered well at times. Like he can do it. He's just, I think, mentally in positioning. Yeah, Paula, what do you think?
No, less like. And everybody was blaming Pedro Galeza for that first goal, but what Rafa Santos, where he was, he was super late to go and defend. Like he's like, even the commentators, they were saying that we're lacking on the left side back, and who's in the left back? Rafa Santos. He leaves big pockets of free space for them to attack.
And Jensen bailed him out like 5 times.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yes. Jensen was the man of the match, for sure.
Yeah, for me, yep. Mm-hmm. Robin and I think Kyle Smith, like those two are the most consistent player of this year for this team.
I think Saba, the player Saba from Atlanta, the new guy, he completely beat Santos on the 1v1 every time. Why? Because they had the Inter Miami playbook. From my understanding, talking to a colleague that covers Atlanta, he was telling me they were doing the same thing that Inter did to you guys with the through balls and trying to find the space. They knew Santos lacked on those things. So pretty much what we're lacking is transition defending. We're really lacking. We've gone worse on transition defending, and I believe the reason we've gone worse on transition defending is because we don't have our double pivot. And even when we did have a double pivot, it didn't pan out the way we wanted to this year because people already figured out how do we play the double pivot.
The only thing, like the only player defensively who's a regular player who's living up to last year's defensive acumen is Jensen.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Smith when he's on the field and just doing defensive roles in left back or whatever. Brekalo's been sorry, did I say that right? I did say that right. Brekalo has been, a great addition, but he's still going to take time to get in there. And I think a partnership with him and Jansen. So, like, if we're talking about defensive lacking from last year, Luis Angulo is not doing the same thing for me that he was
He has
last
been
year.
crickets too.
And that's a big part of why Santos was helped out a lot. When Santos was playing there, he was helped a lot by Angulo. Angulo is not doing that this year. Santos looks even more exposed.
No, I agree completely. Brekalo is brand new. Brekalo, and he adapted very well, in my opinion. I mean, better than what I've
But just
expected.
overall, defensively, we have very few guys who are performing at the same level that they were
Right.
last year.
So, this whole thing about Robin Jansen, to me, he was just from another galaxy, dude. The dude he had the personality. He was beast. He was a beast. To me, he proved yesterday. He proved why he's a captain, in my opinion, on that game, and he totally delivered. Now, Dagger Dan, we go to Dagger Dan. Look, to me, I'll give you my brief opinion, and then I'll go to John. Dagger Dan, to me, I think he's a jack of all trades right now. I think you can put him as a demon. You can put him as a right back. I've seen him on the wing. I've seen him doing crosses. I like that attitude of Dagger Dan. I just feel they need to, against tougher competition. I mean, all competition is tough, but he needs to stay in position. They all need to attack compactly and defend compactly, and that's the problem. Is there, like I saw Bracalo in the midfield at one time. We can now go that deep down, in my opinion. With this back four, we can now go that deep down, and Dagger starts becoming almost like an extra attacker. And then he loses the ball, or there's a turnover, and the other team hits us with a huge transition play, and it's a dangerous one, and then it becomes 4-against-3. I saw that the whole game.
time.
The whole game. So I think those are the little things that we need to get polished. What are your thoughts there, John, of Dagger Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that you did see that happen, but I also think that Oscar is asking Dagger to do a lot, and I think he's asking him to go up the field and hold the ball and cut inside and sort of play that. I don't even know how to describe it, but like he's almost like an attacking playmaker from the right back position, and almost like he's creating a lot of our plays at the moment. Like if you look at this game, a lot of the creation came from Dagger. And Nico Ladero was kind of floating out to the wings a lot. So I do think that we talked about that he's not the best defensively. And I think if you're going to ask him to do all those things and run forward and cut inside and be that kind of player, then you're going to have to accept that sometimes he's going to be out of position. The issue is if you also have Rafa on the other side out of position, then you've got two guys who play center back. So, of course, that causes a problem. I think also that, like, sometimes Dagger is just, I think sometimes he's the scapegoat. Like this game, I don't think he performed that badly. I think that there was actually some really good moments from him where he went past guys and put in good crosses and made some dribbles, made some passes. I think you see the defensive lapses, but also he held the ball for a lot of the play and made a lot of passes. So for me, I think he's doing what he's being asked to do, and it'll only get better from him. I think honestly, a lot of the issues we have defensively, I don't see most of them on Dagger. I think that a few of them are, but for me, it's more Santos, Pedro, the lack of any D mids doing anything in front of our back four. Like no one is closing them down before they even get to our back four. So you can point a lot of fingers. I just don't necessarily think that blaming Dagger is the one, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Dagger should be the scapegoat of anything. I think, and we'll go to our next topic too about the expectations of this game. Honestly, for this game, I honestly expected a draw. If you, I mean, of course, I always want, and I'll be honest with you, I always want Orlando to win.
I expected the L, Luis, honestly.
I expected a draw, because I felt, maybe, we were going to see a better performance maybe of Nico. Angulo was very well contained by Saba, by Brooks Lennon, and it just didn't pan out the way we wanted to. It could have been a little worse, I'll be honest with you. Some parts, I felt that second goal by Giannumakis was a golazo. It was a phenomenal goal. Uh, there was nothing Pedro could do, and if anybody says that Pedro could have saved that, I would love to see you.
He almost did though,
Right.
by an inch.
I would love to see, maybe Duncan or something. If there's ever a fans versus front office game, see if maybe Nico can score one of those on you, and maybe you get it. Because you know more than everybody. So hey, let's do it, right? But um, definitely, I feel that with Pedro, it's mental, and we'll discuss it in a little bit. It's not yet there, but I do feel there's a lot of frustration, just like last year, and also it's I'll be honest with you, I'm a little different, so I just I'm just overly positive. I'm over a believer in the system. I've been through the very tough times of this club, and I feel we're onto something now. I also believe in what the club represents as a whole. I'm not a fan of the result. I'm a fan of the crest and the badge. And so at that point, I see things a little differently. And maybe this whole CCL, Champions League elimination is gonna bring the best out of them against Austin. They look completely defeated after that game. You could see it on our YouTube on the tail of the tape. It's marked on there on the video. You can just go in our description, and it's time stamped for y'all. You go to tail of the tape, and you could see the face of Duncan, of Felipe, of frustration, of angst. They don't look right, and I think Oscar's gonna have to fix that. He has to have to fix it fairly quick, because people are getting upset, and I totally understand why they're getting upset. No one wants to see a team that they support lose it like this way and go into this bad slump. I think no one does, but I've seen it before. I'm actually, and I mentioned it to you again. My team from Peru has the worst record in Copa Libertadores history. Every time there's a Copa Libertadores, I start shaking. My hands start shaking like this, right? And it comes very turbulent times for me, because I know that we're probably gonna get eliminated first round. But I know a lot of people expected greatness out of this team, and I think there's still a lot left for them. It's just that we need to see that now. Fans are really upset. So, John, what are your thoughts regarding the fans? I do believe that they're right on their own right, to believe the way they want to believe and feel they want to feel. But how do you feel about the team? And, because when I asked Oscar, and just to do this a preface, when I asked Oscar, he said, I don't want to go back to last year. He kind of said, I don't want to go back to last. You guys can see it on our YouTube. I don't want to go back to last year, but last year we ended up second, right? So, but people are upset. 10 goals in 4 games. I totally understand, man. So, thoughts?
Yeah, I think that people are frustrated, especially because we had higher expectations this year than we did last year, and that just like adds and almost our performance at the beginning of this year has been even worse than the beginning of last year. So it's like high expectations, low reality results, and that's just created, very upset fans. Which, again, I fully understand. You have a right to say that. I personally think it's too early to be calling for somebody's head. I think that's 4 games in, is way too early for me. And I think that we're going to be end up sort of, as we learned from last year, the team will figure it out. We know we have a good team. We know we have a good coach. Sometimes things just aren't going your way. Right now, we're making silly mistakes. We're not playing well. We're not connecting. Things aren't going well. But that was similar last year, right? I mean, so things will turn around. I believe that. I know that. I just think it hopefully won't take as long as it did last year. And I accept that sometimes things aren't great, and that's just part of being a soccer fan. And like you said, Luis, I mean, I've been a Stoke fan my whole life. I know what it is to support a team that isn't playing well, and like right now, Stoke is in a relegation battle. At least in MLS, we're not getting relegated. We're not going anywhere. Things are just bad. Things will get better. I think that people are fully entitled to have the reactions they have, and I respect that. And I don't think anybody should tell anybody, hey, you shouldn't say this or shouldn't say
Of
that.
course, of course,
I just
of course.
think that personally, for
Wholeheartedly.
me, it's way too early to be throwing everything out the window. We got killed by Champions League, too many games. We have not started well. International break now. Yeah, you can be like, hey, these are all a bunch of excuses, but they're also the reasons that things are happening, and they're just not starting well. That can happen. Your team could just, everything could go wrong, and everything is going wrong right now. But that doesn't mean that we can't do a 180. It doesn't mean that we can't turn it around. I'm just hoping it happens quicker than last year.
Paola.
I agree with John. I agree that I hope that it's not gonna be that long to figure it out. And I don't think so because like we said in prior pods, we have the same squad, only one or two add-ons, and well, three with Muriel. I forgot about Muriel. To be in the squad, and I blame it on the MLS analyst again. Like Sacha Kleshtin,
Oh my
Tyler
God, you're
said,
so right. Everybody was
like
hyping us up. It's their fault.
exactly. And in other years, we are the worst. Oh no, I see Orlando being sixth place or the last
But
place of the Eastern standing, blah blah blah. And then we get all this attention from the MLS. Well, this little attention, not that big. And we get this bad juju. And like you said, John, CCC was there. CCL, sorry, CCL was there. We actually performed not that bad. It was Tigres was a rough contendant. So I mean, look at New England Revolution. Yes, they passed their stage to the quarterfinals, but they have 0 points. And what they're doing? They're in the CCL too.
something's got to give, right? Something's got to
Exactly.
give.
We are demonstrating that we cannot play two tournaments at the same time like CCL, right? Because we have seen US Open Cup and being in the league, but even though that year we struggled to be in the playoff for MLS, like we have demonstrated year past that we cannot play two tournaments at the same time and concentrate on only one. So now that we have this CCL passed, the honeymoon stage has passed. That is the preseason. I hope that
I
the
love how
team
you say that,
figures
the honeymoon phase.
it's the honeymoon phase
Honeymoon
because
phase is the
everybody's
best.
like
It's all clear
every,
now. Yeah, the
everybody
Now you
has
roses
have
and
to pick
glasses
up
have been
after each
taken
other.
off.
exactly.
Oh,
So
so
Yeah, find your
sad to see.
socks
hopefully,
here. Hold on, find your socks here by the TV.
where are my spikes? But anyways, hopefully after that international break, everybody comes from their country revived, positive, and bring that energy to the team. That's what I'm hoping. Hoping for a win on Saturday, obviously, because like Luis said, I'm the same way. I'm always rooting for a win, even though that we are slacking my expectation for every each
It's to
game
win.
is win.
Yeah.
Is to win.
And
I think we have
no, go ahead,
like
John. Go ahead.
I think that a lot of people are like Austin is also like writing it off because they think internationals out. It's just like we can't like it's some people are saying they don't expect us even to be, have a chance at winning this one against Austin. I think that's not true. I think actually like Brecalo is a massive loss, but outside of that, like maybe if Pedro's out a game, I know Luis, like he'll be good for him to go do national team, and maybe Mason, right now, honestly, Mason, like, can he be worse than Pedro? Probably not. If Pedro's form is that right now. So I think if you look at who's missing for Austin, it's not as bad as some people might think. And we do have a good shot of turning it around for this game.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of things about the squad, and I've read also a couple things. Like it's just like you can compare Miami to Orlando. It's two different markets, two different towns, two different wallets, and I mean, people are putting, oh, they're first, we're last. I was like, Jesus. Um, Look, Orlando's more than just plugging players from all over and just made them play together. We could bring Lukaku, we could bring Griezmann, we can bring all these players if we want to. There's a salary cap. There's a lot of restrictions in the league. It's not that easy. They made it happen because their players are going on the outs. Suarez probably only has this year to play the sport, and then that's
And
if
they have
that.
guys willing to take less money just to
Correct.
play with Lionel
Just to play
Messi.
with Messi, right? So I mean, it is that. On our end, we have a culture, which is something they don't have, and I take pride of that. No pun intended. I take pride of that because that is how, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, not I'm not trying to shove it into anybody's throat, but in my opinion, that's the way you play the sport. You create a positive impact on your community. You make great decisions when it comes to you know young players that are zero cost, that are going to skyrocket what we've done with from people that we've drafted it, and we've benefited on that and everything, people that we've like the kid Taifi from OCB and things like that. That's our legacy as a club, right? Yes, we need the trophies. We got one on the bag. We're working towards the second one, but we cannot compare ourselves to other teams. We're our own type of beast. And in my opinion, I am willing to wait a little bit. I feel like we have the proper pieces. Now, when it comes to Mason and Pedro, we should just discussing that a little bit. Let's read some comments real quick. It says Joshua told, yes, Luis, culture, the way you play the sport, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Thank you so much. It says Gnocchi Gio with who next game?
Yeah, I think
Um,
Gio looked bright. I would start
I
Gio.
will start Gio and Lodero.
Gio was like making runs up the field, like
Yeah,
playing
Gio's good.
1-2s, like moving. I wouldn't play Ladero right now,
Or
honestly.
Shaq. Shaq look
I
Shaq.
would play. I mean,
Shaq
we just
attack.
talked about how Oscar wouldn't do it, but Dagger, honestly, Dagger and Gio might be
Maybe
our best
maybe that's
mid
it.
options
No, but
right
no, you're gonna
now.
put Holiday there.
No, I'm saying Oscar won't do it anyway because he's like we said, he's going to keep Dagger at right back, but
Yeah.
maybe Gio and somebody. But
Maybe Gio and Felipe.
yeah, I feel like Felipe would have been a better option than Kyle Smith in
No,
there.
Felipe knows Austin, so in
Yeah,
a way, it makes kind of sense that he will play with Gio there.
Gio and Felipe, why
Yep,
not?
yep. It says, yep, they look pissed and they would miss when they would miss the chances, but I understand and agree why they're mad. It says, I was hoping for a draw win, how you said it, Luis, but what everyone will agree on is that OC has to start scoring first so we can get the W. Correct. It's It's like the guys get caught between two minds in the attacking third. I understand they want to play patient football, but maybe not so patient that the defense closes them down and disposes them. That's a great analysis. I agree wholeheartedly on that.
That's a good comment, Daniel. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. I
Jeff,
mean, we see that a lot of the pass, never make a shot.
Pereira's miss. Nico's not it. I disagree on that. Pereira is playing in Nacional, and right now he's doing great. But Nacional plays an inferior competition, in my opinion. I think some of those teams, if they will play against MLS teams, the MLS teams will overpower them right now because of just what the teams are worth. Um,
I
now
want to
Nico's,
know Paula's opinion on Nico.
yeah,
I was kind of mad that I saw him in the last game on against Atlanta because I feel I'm gonna stick to my opinion. I feel that Nico should be closing the game, like put him the last 30 minutes or the last 20. Like the man cannot be. I could see him one or two, but at this point, just sit him down. Like we saw him. We saw the same with Pereira last year. Like sometimes he needed a rest and come from the bench. Like this is that moment for Nico. Like sometimes Nico, he's a veteran, but at the same time, he's kind of slow on passing the he doesn't know well yet the team where Angulo can be or the other person in the wing. So that's what we miss about Pereira. Like he knew where everybody needed to be. And Nico is a little bit slower than that. But I feel that Nico should be benched for now and bring him in the last 30 minutes of the game. And sorry for people that hate that opinion, but that's how I feel every time that he passed that ball to the opponent team.
I agree. I think it was Taylor Twellman commentating. I think it was Twellman.
Oh,
The
was
com-
watching them in Spanish.
he kept talking about the fact that Nico he likes to like move around a lot, like he like the opposite of of Marisa. Marisa would just
But
stay in the 10 position. Nico is like always running to the wing and like running and moving to the outside and just not being in the middle. Like,
right.
and I think also he needs to be the 10 in a 4-2-3-1 if you're going to use him. I don't think he's usable in a 4-4-2. I didn't see it, and I agree with Paula. I would be like start Ojeda at the 10 if we're playing 4-2-3-1, and then bring on Nico.
No, I agree with you guys on there. But I do understand why they brought Nicolas Lodero on there. It's a player that could
We
give
have
you
no midfielders at the moment.
yeah. I
there's
mean,
nobody, yeah.
it's a player. Nicolas Lodero is a player that just gives you knows how to win championships and things like that, and they saw as a leadership quality also on and off the bench. So um, obviously, I feel just like you guys wholeheartedly. I feel like they should maybe have him play the last 30 minutes of the game. I think that's probably the safest, and I think that probably was the initial thought. But the mid needs that voice. Right? Cartagena is not the voice. Araujo is not the voice. And they felt maybe Nico can step on those shoes like Mauricio left on there, and maybe it didn't pan out the way they wanted to. I do feel he has the quality. It's just that let me tell you, he had consistent, solid seasons with the Sounders, and obviously age, you know, uh, and life, and he already won silverware with the Sounders, Champions League. He already won whatever he needed to be won here in North America. So he started maybe being a little inconsistent, and while out the Sounders too, while at Sounders, and that also was what cost him maybe to come to Orlando in a way. And so we're getting a Lodero that's already accomplished everything. So there's for him, there needs to be a little more bite to him from the past Lodero. That's my opinion. We need to see a Lodero that's hungry or hungrier because right now, obviously, Nico, it's turning over the ball. It's a turnover machine right now. So unfortunately, it is what it is. We have to be objective here. We're not trying to attack the player in any way, shape, or form. We're just saying what we see on the pitch. And yep, that's a great analysis right there. So, um, how do we stop conceding and turning over those balls, guys? Paola.
Rafa, stay in position and not move
Or just no
from that
Rafa.
lift.
That would be mine. Just remove Rafa, you know.
And not make Dagger so many positions. Like, be responsible for attacking, defend, be a mid, be the Superman that he's not yet. I'm not saying that he cannot do all the stuff, but he's not there yet. If we
I think
want
we're
to stop
asking too much
conceding,
of him.
yeah, like dude, he's a I had the he's the super flexible guy that can adapt to any position. But at this point, focus on the defensive side. You have wingers that can do the rest of the attacking. So I will say, uh, Rafa, stay in position or no Rafa at all. I don't mind it. I haven't seen anything from him other than conceding passes right there. And Dagger, just stay in that lane. Like, keep learning from being a right back, not move forward. Like, if it's Oscar who's demanding him to go and attack, there's a problem, because if you want to do that, you need to have other three people in the back being consistent and being good that we don't have. We have only two. So that's my analysis, and have that mid pivot mindset that we're missing from last season. We haven't seen it this season. And now with Wilder being in Peru and Cesar being out for weeks, we're missing that little two pieces there. But that's my opinion. I don't know about you, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big put Smith in there, allow Smith to stay, and like we turn it into the back three like we've seen, and then Dagger can do his inverted fullback situation. And I think with Pedro, we he's just got to mentally turn it around. And I know Luis, you're like, don't be mean to Pedro, but here's the thing: his positioning, like he be running out and then running back, and like he just looks lost at times, dude. And that's what concerns me. I think his shot stopping is never been in question. Like the two saves that he made, I think were great. Like
The
and he
purple was
he
back right
makes that
there.
all the time. But if you look at the highlights, like the goal that was kind of Santos, he looks panicked to me.
Or confused.
He looks like he's not sure what he should be doing, and that's where I'm like, where did that come from? Because that's not Luis, that's not the Pedro that we know. So that's what concerns me about him right now.
I just feel also the back line is in shambles, and he just
I
you
think
know
that's adding to his
it
stress,
it's
hundred
yeah.
percent.
So, but you have to understand too, and I ask people that I just what I read sometimes online, it's just like I just can't understand how people turn turn around or turn over like a dirty sock. Like when you fold dirty socks, they just flip flop like a dirty sock. You know, a year ago he was saving you for several things. 2 years ago, made the playoffs thanks to him. The running of the wall, do y'all remember that? Right. So I mean, there's just so many things that he's been consistent for so many seasons. I know this sounds cliche, but you're gonna kill him for like 6 games. So
I mean, that's exactly it, Louis.
no, no,
That's why I'm
no,
like, what is happening? Because it's
no.
not the Pedro
What
we
what is
know.
happening too? I think the backline needs to assure responsibility too. Now, yeah, he's had some mess ups that are ginormous, but I'm with all due respect, I'm not here to say Mason is not a good keeper. He's a great keeper, and I think also Javier Otero is a phenomenal keeper. But if we're saying right now, let's go ahead and just bench Pedro, and you know, just because let's get our pitchforks out, and let's get our kerosene and just light it up, and let's turn the city red, and we're I'm angry, I'm mad, and I'm right. I guarantee you, in December he'll be leaving.
I would say this though: if he was any other position on the field, and his form was that bad, would you be wanting to keep him in the starting lineup? You know, like at some point, if you consistently have bad performances, I would argue even someone like Pedro
No, of
needs to
course. I mean,
potentially be
that's the
subbed out. And
that's
that's
the
what I want to see with Mason. And I agree, there is a gap. Mason is not like the
I
Pedro,
mean,
there is a gap in quality, but let's see what he looks like, because right
no,
now
that's
Pedro ain't it for me personally.
well, we're gonna see Mason. Now, what's gonna happen, or what would happen? Let's say that Mason has a something happens with Mason. God forbid. We're gonna also kill Mason, and we're gonna say, Javier Otero, Otero, ven aquí, papi, ven aquí. You go to
I mean,
the
no one's really killing
right.
Pedro
That's what
that
I'm
much.
saying.
I just think that
I'm
he has
just
been bad, and you have
I'm
to admit
just
that. Like
I'm just
that's
exaggerating, just like people exaggerate
yeah.
online too. Like, like they make it seem like they turn around like a dirty sock. Like it's like, golly, like these people don't remember what they just posted a year ago. San Pedro, Alonso, which I want to say hello to Alonso. When he posted the Pedro Galese Saint Pedro, everybody commenting, "Oh, Pedro, love you, man. Yeah, great." Fast forward yesterday, pitchfork, a light, kind of like The Simpsons. Come on, man. Like, we cannot go so from hot and cold. I feel like, yes, he's. I'm. I bet. Anyone he's gonna turn it around. He's
I
upset.
agree.
He's upset.
I'm not saying he won't
Sources
turn
say.
around.
Sources say, comma, he's very upset. But also, sources say, comma, he can only do so much. Like in that Yanumaki's goal, there was nothing he could do.
I don't think he could have done much against either of those goals. That's
Right.
not what worries me. What worries me is the positioning and the just general
Right.
chaos that he
Right.
seems to be
Right.
seeing in the
So
back. And like part of that is because he's getting exposed, but also he has had bad games and he needs to turn it around like now.
yeah. I mean, like you say, guys, the good thing about Orlando is that they have three solid keepers. We are, like you said, Mason against Austin. I am completely 110% confident he's gonna exceed all expectations, and maybe this is something Pedro needs to. John, I
Yeah,
agree with you on that.
I think a couple games away, build his confidence, like you said, easy
Yeah,
competition. That's gonna be good for him. Like I love the guy. I want him to turn it around. I have nothing against him. I just
no, no,
think,
no.
like I am with all the players, I have to be honest when I see them not doing well.
Yeah, and on that, I agree. I don't know what are your thoughts there, Paola.
No, I agree with both. Like I can see John point of view and also Luis, because I was criticizing. I started with a comment like that first goal from against Atlanta was not 100% Pedro's fault. That was on Santos. Like, and nobody was blaming Santos. Everybody was blaming him, the poor Pedro Galese, that yes, he has made poor decision in previous matches, but then he he had a solid game against Atlanta, let's say. Like, he was the Pulpo Galese that saved two in a row from his butt, sitting down in that stinky grass. Well, not grass, turf. And he almost, like by an inch, grabbed Giacomaki's goal. So Let's give him time. Hopefully, he can have some ceviche back in Peru or his favorite home plate that he's missing so he can revive and come back and be the Pedro Galese that we all know. But yes, he had made poor decisions like in the Minnesota game, but and the Tigres too. But hopefully now with the international break, he can have that time with the Peru uh, national team and come back revive with positivity and not
You
being
know,
so frustrated.
thinking about it, and obviously, I feel very strongly about Pedro because he's been so consistent the past, I'll say, 3, 4 seasons, with country and club. And when I talk to my other pod in Spanish, and I tell them, because there is a Pedro Galese y'all don't know. The Pedro Galese knew was this young cat in Peru, skinny dude that wanted a break. He was a sub. He was kind of like Greeny. He was kind of like Greeny. He was the third goalkeeper, and he got a break because that team had like no keepers, and he just blew up. And then obviously he got a better physique. He had a personal trainer. He put in some muscle. But where he turned around his career was in Orlando City, thanks to, and I will say this, and I don't know if he's listening, Cesar Baena, the goalkeeper coach for Oscar Pareja. He, boom, turned it around completely, and Peru went to the World Cup, in 2018. A lot of things happened for him that just clicked when he met Cesar, and Cesar put the work. He taught him new things, and I feel like he boosted his career. I feel that if Mason, I feel that Mason's going to do fantastic against Austin. I think it's a great thing for him to come back and be like, hey, no one's missed me. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It's good. It's a good thing thinking about it. But I also do want to tell people, don't forget the moments he made you live. Don't forget the moments he made you live. Pedro Alese is an institution for Orlando City. When he leaves, then don't be crying.
And I think we relied on him too much last year.
Right.
At times,
And
his XG last year was like he was overperforming, and we were, and I think that there's games we should have lost that he basically got us a tie
same
or a draw in 100%. Yeah.
to the
And we
people.
need that Pedro. I want
Right,
that
right.
Pedro back. Where did he
To the
go?
people, yeah, and maybe there's something in there mentally, John, that I don't know, but maybe there's something in there mentally, John, that
And maybe I'm part of the problem. It's like maybe we all need to, just cuddle Pedro and be like, it's okay, bro. We got you. And that's what he needs. Like, because some
right,
players are like that. Like maybe the worst thing is to drop him because that'll kill his confidence in
Send him a
time.
coffee,
well, the
John.
good the
It
good
could
thing
be
is
like
the good thing
sometimes
is
it depends. Different players are different.
Just
I think
joking, guys. Just joking.
I think he does understand English, and he does read some Facebook stuff and Twitter stuff, but it is what it is. He's smart. He doesn't respond or anything like
And
that, but
goalkeepers are always under
but
fire, bro.
go,
It's so harsh. Yeah.
I think he feels so comfortable in Orlando that he will love to spend the rest of his career here, and that is something that I know. And goalkeepers could play until they're like 44,
I
45.
mean, I really thought we'd seen the rest of Guzan, and
Look at
there he is.
Gusan,
Right,
right?
There he is. I'm get this
right,
guy out of my screen, please.
yeah. So, anyways, now talking about Guzan, do you remember that curler, that Muriel? He went in. He like nutmeg this defender, Atlanta defender, and then he did that curler, and then Guzan got it with his right hand. It went really close. Now, my question is for you, Paola. How do we start scoring as a team?
Shoot the ball. Don't pass around
That's
the ball.
right, man.
Shoot the ball.
Wait a
I was
minute.
like,
We just had to shoot the ball this whole
Just shoot
time?
it,
Oh
man.
my god.
They were passing like hot potato. They were playing hot potato with the ball
Unbelievable.
yesterday.
So nerve wracking. I
Or,
understand why fans are so mad
I
because of that.
mean,
That
at
pissed
some
me off.
point, Luis, I don't know if you remember about this moment of the game, but Ojeda was in the line. I don't know what is called, but the in the box, like outside of the box in that line, like he was standing there. Nobody was on him defending him, and he just passed the ball to Luis, and then he tried to pass it to Angulo because they're trying to play in the flank. Like they're trying to play in the wings. And that's where we get caught off because they know how we play. They know that we're going to pass from the wings. And I'm like, just shoot the freaking ball. Just shoot it. Shoot the ball. So that's answering your question, Luis. How can we score goals? Just shoot the ball.
What about you, John?
Yeah, I agree. It was frustrating to watch that because we had we had 11 total shots and
Man.
3 of them were on target. So that's a problem. We're not getting good, shots on target. But also with the amount of passes we had in this game, like we would just pass, 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 pass. And I had you bring this up because if you look at the momentum, the beginning of the second half, we just had the ball. You guys remember? We were playing really well. It looked like we turned it around. The second half, we were coming out. We from about the 45th minute to the 69th minute, we were possessing the ball, getting in their half, making chances, looking like the team we could be. And then they had that one chance where they came up the other end, and Giacomakis is all. If you watch it, all he does is just stand back, and our entire back line
Mm-hmm.
goes like this, and then he hits an incredible shot, but nobody covers him. But that's irrelevant. The point being is that we had the ball, we were playing our game, we were in control for the beginning of
We're in
that
our best.
second half. It was
In
only
the
1-0, right? The game we could have brought the game back to 1-1,
Correct.
and we just, like Paula said, just we don't shoot. We just pass, pass, pass until nothing, or pass, pass, pass until a bad shot or a bad cross, or just give the ball away. Often we just pass it until we made the wrong pass and just gave them back the ball. And it was so frustrating to watch the beginning of that second half because we looked like we were getting back in it, and then they had one chance goal, and we can't do that. Like, I don't know what it is, but we can't. We cannot just go straight up and attack, like and straight up and shoot. We get all the way up the field, then we just stop. That one thing you were talking about, Luis, earlier, where is it Brecolo was basically like breaking into the midfield. Like
Right.
he made a challenge, and then he made another challenge really high up and won the ball. It was really impressive. And then he was standing out on like the right wing. There was basically nobody there. Everything stopped. Luis Muriel is just standing in the middle of the field. Ojeda is just like standing. No one is making runs off the ball. Like that's why when Gio came on, I was like, oh look, someone's making runs off the ball, and it's the guy out of college. That's how we start scoring goals. Make runs off the ball, shoot the ball, just be more aggressive more quickly. We enough of this pass, 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 pass. Like, what are we, Arsenal
Yeah.
in under Wenger? What is this?
Oh my God, you hit it! You hit it right on the nail,
Bro, there's
right,
an English TV show called The IT Crowd. It's on Netflix. It's been out for years. And there's
right
an
on the
episode in
dot.
there, and there's a famous line in the episode. He goes, "What are we, Arsenal? Always trying to walk it in." And that's what makes it right Orlando City, right? We're just constantly, I don't even know, we're trying to dribble it all the way into the freaking net.
It's like
That's
we're
why
trying to
Muriel looks
be.
so good, because he just shoots every time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. We need to shoot the ball. We need to just shoot the ball from distance. That Oscar needs to have these cards up his sleeve. Shooting from distance. It has to be identifiable. It has to be unexpected. We have a lot of players that have great shooting ability from distance, like Lodero, like Ojeda, even Angulo, even Duncan. So hell, like stay a little longer in practice. I don't know. Like I said, I'm nobody. Shoot the ball, man. 541 passes against Atlanta. We dominated possession in the
We are
nine
top of
games.
like every passing stat. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and we just the reason why people say we have no quality is because we give that extra freaking touch every time. Like that, you remember that Dagger Dan when he did that extra touch and Muriel was dropping the ball for him in the box? Like that was to me like, come on, man! Like you gotta finish that, So, and we've seen that not only from Duncan, we've seen it also from Faku at times. This overpassing in the box when you just gotta shoot it, you gotta go for it. You don't look for Muriel to finish the thing because Muriel might have started the play. Just finish it. You know what I mean? So, I just think that would be one of them. And another one that I do want to say, it's set pieces. I think if we become a team that is dangerous at the set piece with Brecalo, with Jansen, we have players that they could become like Kyle Smith. When's the last time you saw Kyle Smith scoring off a header of a corner kick? Or you remember, or
You
saving us from
know
a corner kick
what we
too?
should do is like those calendars in the workplace where it's like days since an
Without
accident.
incident. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna do like days like I don't know,
Without
waiting for
scoring.
with like days without scoring or something from a
Days
set
without
piece.
scoring from a set piece or a corner.
Yeah, yeah. Anything's like days without a set piece goal, and then we're just gonna count it up.
And
I
we
don't know if
were
we're gonna score one this season, Luis, which is infuriating because we should. We have Ojeda can put an incredible ball in. Breclo, as we've seen from the highlights, can be a major threat, so we should be scoring from set pieces.
I mean, and we were consistent when Oscar Pareja was the first year coach. We were scoring from set pieces and from corner kicks. I don't know what happened. It was only that year and then it went away. We're not as good in the set pieces. We're not as good in the corner kicks, which I have always said those are free goals that we can score. But they need to figure it out for sure.
There you go. So we're gonna do the fun section, John. You wanna?
Yeah, let's do some fun, right? So
Should I share the quiz?
yeah, we can do that if you show
All right.
the quiz. So we decided we're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to keep doing the Thursday night podcast for you. So we're going to go and preview Austin on Thursday night,
Yep.
and that leaves us with a bit more time on a Monday to do some fun stuff. So this one, this one's a crazy one, Luis. This is the Orlando City roster from 2015. So once you hit that play quiz button, we're all gonna start shouting names at you. And people in the chat, if you want to join in, please go ahead. If you just name any player from the Orlando City roster of 2015 and type it in, it'll come up in there. We've got 10 minutes on the timer. I don't think it'll take us 10 minutes, guys.
So you
I
want me
think
to just write it down?
if once you hit play quiz, you'll see you can type it in.
Okay.
And you'll
All right.
type them in, and when you get one right, it'll come up on the board there. And their jersey numbers is all we have to go by. So I can tell you right now, 78 is Aurelian Collin, right? Because he played in 78.
Yeah,
So
he played in the Red Bulls too, right? Or
yeah.
was Sporty?
All right, let's start. We've already got
let's see.
one here. So
okay. Colin, right?
yeah, Colin. There
All
you
right.
go.
Tally Hall.
He's put Bowden.
Luke Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
Molino.
Paula, you
Kaká.
got some?
Kaká.
Oh, come on. That's
What are you?
Break,
What are
break
you?
chair.
What are you, Paula?
Break chair. How do you pronounce
Break
chair?
Shea?
Yeah, break
Oh,
chair.
Break
Yeah,
Shea?
whatever.
I
Yeah.
like how you say Shea. Break Shea.
Break
Like he's
Shea.
a foreign player.
Oh, I
That's
remember.
so
I
good.
remember one that was horrible. David
Oh,
Mateos.
Mateos.
Oh, he's not
No,
there.
not
This guy.
2015. He was later. Let's go with Rivas.
You sure? Oh no, he's right there.
Oh,
Davis.
you
They
spelled
put
his name
Davis.
wrong. They spelled his name
Arribas,
wrong.
yeah. Oh, Kyle
Rivas.
Laren.
Oh, Rivas. Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
Laren is in there. We got
Laren.
Laren in the chat.
Oh, I know the fan favorite. Was he?
Higuita?
Higuita, man. We need
Higuita.
Higuita right now, man.
Oh, I would love me some
Oh,
Higuita
we
right
need Higuita
now.
right now. Come on,
Please.
man.
Who else
Oh,
we got? Was PC in that 2015?
I think so. PC was there. Put
PC?
PC there.
Was
PC?
Yoshi?
No,
No,
Joshi
this
was not in
No, Yoshi was
2015.
later.
what's his name?
Yeah.
PC.
PC
Yeah,
something.
just
Just
put
put PC.
PC.
And see.
Brian Roches, that's a great one.
No, Brian Roches was in there for sure.
Yeah, that's what Noki said. Roches.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm starting to Seren, great shout. I'm starting to show
Seren.
I can't remember anything. My memory is
I know.
terrible.
I know it was Pedro Ribeiro, right? The Brazilian Ribeiro. There you go.
Yes. Also Donovan
Oh,
Ricketts.
yeah, Roman Ricketts.
Sean St. Ledger in there?
Louis Neal. How am I
Louis
forgetting
Neal,
Neal?
yeah.
Well, your favorite, Harrison Heath.
Harrison Heath? No way. He must have.
Of course, nepotism and its
Sydney
finest.
Rivera, great shout by Brett
I
Shaw there.
I forgot the Pride coach. I forgot his name.
Seb Hines?
Seb Hines? How
Hines.
you forget Seb
Of course,
Hines?
yeah.
I forgot Seb Hines'
Paola.
name. I'm like,
Paola. That's bad.
don't kill me, Seb. Sorry, I forgot your name, but I knew
Oh
that
my
you
God,
were in the roster.
the player that he playing Corinthians now, Rafa Ramos.
Rafa Ramos, good shout.
He doesn't play in Corinthians anymore. He got kicked
Winter.
out.
Adrian Winter.
Oh, that's a
Winter,
fan
yeah.
favorite. Adrian
Great
Vinter. They
shout
still
by
want him.
Noki. Oh, bring it back. Bring back Adrian. Anytime he wants to come
Okay,
back.
do we have some comments? Let's see. We got some comments right here.
I'm reading
Sydney
out all the
Rivera.
cards. I know.
The Sydney Rivera. Let's see. Sydney Rivera.
I gotta think. No cheating,
No, there's not
anybody.
there.
No looking this up.
There's no there right there.
We've
Sydney
got
Rivera.
6 minutes still, so 7
We
minutes.
have you remember that?
All right, let's go by
Portuguese guy?
position.
Remember the Portuguese
Goalkeeper?
guy? There was a Portuguese guy.
Portuguese guy? Jose A?
Estrella.
Oh,
Oh,
Jose,
Estrella.
He was a beast.
The star.
Estrella.
What was his? No, that's not how you spell his name though. And he had the crazy hair. D mid.
Yeah, he was like he was from Benfica. I remember.
All right, what about goalkeepers? Who else did we have with Tally Hole and Donovan Ricketts? Did we have Earl at that time?
No, yeah, Earl Edwards, I believe.
Jr.
Oh yeah, Earl the and then this guy. Forgot the name of this guy.
He did have dark hair. You're right, Gnocchi.
It's not there. It's not pulling up. That's weird.
Maybe he wasn't there. I'm trying to think who our third keeper
was. It
this guy that is in the Whitecaps now?
Oh, Armando Carrasco, remember?
Carrasco?
Yeah.
But he
Servando Carrasco. I thought we were goalkeeper. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, that's
Servando.
That's Alex Morgan's
husband. Yeah, there you go.
Right, it's Sydney LaRue's ex-husband. Get your facts right.
No, Sydney LaRue.
Sorry, that's Dom.
That's Dom.
You're right. Now I'm getting my guys confused.
Sydney Rivera.
Back in 2015. Everyone was dating everybody.
Everybody's
Rivera.
Who are the other center backs?
Aha.
I thought
Aha was there, I think, in 2015.
Aha?
I think so.
Yeah.
Aha was not there.
No, I used to call him
St. Ledger. Was he there?
Oh, of course. I remember what's his name?
Right.
He was from Barbados, I think.
We had
Mwanga. Remember that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Danny. There you go, Danny Mwanga.
Didn't we have like Haji Barry or something at some point? Didn't we have something like that? There. Didn't we have some? Oh, we had like Juan Aguadelo? No, we had someone like that. I don't know. I'm starting to. Guys, chat, help us out here.
Do we got Luke Bowden already on there? Yeah, we do.
We got Luke Bowden.
What is the guy that went up to New York and didn't come back, and they were at the bar?
I don't know who that is.
Don't know.
Oh man! All right, let's go by position. Left back, we had Bods. Will you try PC? No, where's PC later?
Yeah,
I think
later.
PC
it's later.
Oh, it's later. Okay. I wasn't here.
Center back, like number
We're
4 and
missing.
number 5. We don't
Oh,
have.
that was that guy that my friend had his jersey. Ash. Let me
Ash?
see. Ash.
You mean Solskjaer Ledger is the guy I think we had.
Is that Ledger?
Did the
Oh, there
guy
you go.
said Ledger? Did the guy that is in Toronto right now? Larea? No.
Yeah.
Richie
Richie
Larea?
Larea.
Richie Larea, yeah.
He might have been the other right back.
No.
No.
Is that how you
Must have been
spell it?
later. He
Larea.
must have got brought up later. We had Rafa Ramos, but
But
who
he was
the
in
other
the
right
B.
back?
I think he was in the B squad. He was in the. He was a homegrown.
Tommy the Kid.
Oh yeah,
Who
he
was
was a center
Tommy?
back.
Oh,
yeah,
Tommy Redding.
Tommy
Redding.
Redding.
Oh, Tommy
Yep.
Redding.
Gosh,
Okay.
forgot about Tommy Redding.
He was in a poster, I remember. I had a poster of Tommy Redding. And I had a poster of Breck Shea, and then when he went to Miami, I just kind of put it in my garage.
Breck Shea. That was sad. We got Kyle Aaron, Simon. Sorry.
We got
He's on there.
Brian Roches. We have Brian Roches, right?
Who is our other strikers?
That's it. That's all we got. Like, unless it was.
All right, so we're missing. All right, let's go by number. Number 2 was Rafa Ramos, not number 2.
Number two.
Who was number 2?
I
There's
think
like
we're
whole
missing
players that
somebody
we're missing.
important.
This is crazy.
Tommy the Kid.
That's Tommy Redding. Did you
That's
put
Tommy
him in?
Redding.
Did you put Tommy Redding in? Yeah, we got him.
Yeah, we got it.
16.
There was one. Isn't Corey Ash in the team? Ash, I keep thinking. Let me see if I can record.
Maybe ASHE.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, ASHE. Yeah, he was the left back, right?
Yep, Corey Ash. Yeah, my friend had his jersey.
Who were the other D mids? Who used to play next to Guito all the time? Was it always Savando? There was another guy.
Servando Carrasco.
But there was another. Lewis Neal, yeah, used to play.
Harrison Heath, great D mid.
I think we're missing
number 12, number
goalkeeper.
9. We're missing number 9. Was Baptista the fridge, right? Wasn't
El Animal Baptista?
Who was the number 9? It's got to be somebody big.
Baptista, I think.
Aaron,
Baptista.
right?
No, because Kyle's not. Like, number 9 is open still. Darwin Seren. Do we have Darwin on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got him. That's who played next to Igita most of the time. Oh, number 9. How do we not have our number 9?
This is tough.
Or number 5?
I'm capped out. I mean, remember
42. There's got to be some.
There was an Italian guy too.
Players.
Chris Mueller?
No, he was in 2015. I don't think he was drafted later, right?
We got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. What about
guys? We're gonna have to admit defeat here, but we're pretty. I didn't even think it would take us 10 minutes. There's some obscure players that when we see this, we're gonna be really annoyed at. That we're like,
what did we just put random names like Tony?
Tony Rocha.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Okay, here's the ones that we missed. Are you ready?
Donovan.
Turner. Oh my God, Tyler Turner was number 2.
Unbelievable.
Martin Patterson. How did I forget Martin Patterson? Eric Avila.
Eric Avila, we missed. Unbelievable that
we forgot about Condon.
Whoopsie.
Hey, Josh Ford, completely forgot that. I don't even know who that is. Do you know who Josh Ford is? Honestly, would never have got that one.
Like, I can't believe I missed Eric Avila and Tyler Turner.
I can't believe we missed
I feel like
and Tyler Turner.
I feel like an idiot.
And a Moby. I mean, Kugo. I forgot about him as well. Oh my gosh. Well, they were obscure players.
Look, we got
Tyler Turner.
If we would have not gotten Seb, I would have not been able to cover the Pride ever again.
Martin Patterson was our number 9 that we signed and immediately got injured and basically never played for us.
I win, says Gnocchi, yo. There you go. She
Yoki,
won.
did you do it as well and beat us? Because that's not cool.
This is. I would rather see a shot to the second level over losing the ball in the box. JCB's 95. Thank you so much. We're gonna turn the season around. Vamos Orlando. Gales is gonna turn it around as well. Exactly. We could have tied the game, and I thought we were going to score, especially since we got so close in the second half. Lewis hooked Pedro and Cartagena with a shaman con el cuy mágico. Oh yeah, they gotta go to the shaman. Maybe get all that negative energy out. You heard about the guinea pig ritual?
Well, I was talking with some people on Twitter the other day about an old ritual we used to do with the rosemary. My brother
Oh,
James
true.
used to tie rosemary like in the net of the field,
Oh,
and some old fans remembered that, and they were like, "Bring back the rosemary."
that's
To which I
good.
to which I said, "Let's just dump a whole truckload on the field just in case." We need
That's
some good
crazy.
juju, man. We need some
Unbelievable,
good
man.
juju. Well, um, that was good. A little bit of fun there to kind of cheer us up after having to talk about how bad we are for an hour.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, we're good. We're good. No, this was fun. And I know we had another one, right? Name if you were at what?
That's a silly question. So, if you were any sort of kitchen appliance or like office appliance, what would you be? It's a random question. Paula, what would you
I
be?
don't know. I'm thinking.
I mean, I don't want to be touched all the time. So
Luis is like, I am not being a regularly used appliance. You want to be an appliance that's like in the cupboard and never taken out? That could be boring.
yeah, it could be boring.
I think I'd want to be the fridge, you know? Everyone
I
loves the
was gonna
fridge.
say
You
the
go to the
freezer.
fridge, you
Nobody
open
goes to
the
freezer
fridge brings you
often.
food. The
Fridge.
fridge is the
the
king of
stapler.
the kitchen.
A stapler.
Yeah, I could be a weapon too if I wanted to.
I like that. You could be an office you're a weapon. The stapler is a great, yeah. That's a great option, Luis. I like that. You're
I
thinking
gotta see the
like in a
stapler now. As
war.
a
Luis has got like tactical. He's like in a
High
war.
top high
I'm
top level people are gonna
I'm the
use me.
stapler.
I'm gonna make
Oh.
connections.
Paula, you going fridge?
no. Gonna go for a paper clip.
A paperclip. Okay. I
Yeah.
like that one.
This is Victor Sanchez. Damn it, 7 players out this Saturday. Yeah.
Probably will
On
bring the
Thursday
best of us. I don't know.
we'll be back to talk and preview
Yeah,
Austin,
we'll do the
and
we'll do
we'll
the
do the
preview.
lineup and
We
everything
might
on
have a
Thursday.
guest. I'm gonna try to see if I can find. I have a colleague that covers Austin. Her name is Lupe. She covers with Area Sports Network. So I will see if I can maybe convince her to maybe come in and see if she can tell us how's Austin coming.
That would be great. Let's get a guest on.
Yep. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys. An hour and 19 minutes of the show today. Thank you for all your support. 109 people live right now. It's a record. 99, almost 100 people on Twitter. Well, X at LPO underscore podcast, and about 15 people on YouTube. So thank you so much for all of your support. Just make sure you hit us with the socials. Subscribe to at LP underscore podcast on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on YouTube. You can find us as Loud and Proud Orlando. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts on audio form. If you're listening, thank you so much. Leave us a 5-star review, and then also Paola Tiro de Esquina, right?
Yes, follow us for Spanish content, Tiro de Esquina podcast in YouTube and on Instagram, Twitter, Tiro de Esquina podcast, OC. Ooh. So you will see this week episode with the same news, a little bit of Alec opinion. But yeah,
And John, where can we find you on your socials?
You can find me on X as John Rollins OCSC, and you can find me on Instagram as just John Rollins.
What about you, Paola?
Lola underscore Pao 13. That's my username for all of the Twitter and Instagram. You can find me there. Just follow me.
You can find me on X at Pineda_ORL. Also, you can find me on Instagram. We'll find us on LP_podcast. That's the easiest way. We're looking for people also to come and cover the Pride and OCB and also Orlando City. So if you're interested, send us a DM either on Twitter or on an Instagram, and we'll be able to reach out to you. We're looking for people that would like to join us, also cover the Orlando Pride. But anyways, guys, um, as always, we'll leave with Vamos
Vamos,
Orlando.
Orlando.
Vamos,
Vamos Orlando,
Orlando.
guys. Have a good one.